So, today we are moving on to the groundwater quality. So, there's a lecture schedule in your syllabus that gives the term groundwater quality. So, you all know what is groundwater, and you all know that the surface groundwater is always having more quality than that of surface water. And I think you know the reason because the water reaches the ground through many types of soil, through many strata of soil, through which it got filtrated and its quality get increased than that of surface water. Okay, so that is the reason why groundwater is of more quality than that of surface water. Now we are moving on to the main aspects of groundwater quality. As we all know, groundwater is not as easily contaminated as surface water. Yes, it is not easily contaminated as surface water. Why? Because it is not exposed to the surface. Am I right? It is not exposed to the surface, and it is not got it will not got contaminated that soon. Okay. Sewage means just a sum up or a summary or explanation of what we are going to tell. So groundwater can become naturally contaminated became of because of its very close connection to the materials of the aquifer. Once contaminated by human activities, groundwater is very difficult to clean up. Yes. So these are the things that we have to note. Okay. Groundwater have less chances of getting contaminated. The only chance of getting groundwater contaminated is through the aquifer in which it is staying. Okay. Now we'll move on to the common groundwater contaminants. So these are the common groundwater contaminants which may make the groundwater less usable. Okay. Nitrates, nitrates which are coming from the fertilizers and all. Pathogens are bacteria or viruses which are able to cause diseases to humans. Trace metals means mercury, cadmium, copper, chromium, nickel, etc. that may be discharged from some industries and all. Inorganic constituents means it may contain dissolved salts, accumulation of sulfates, chlorides, etc. And organic compounds which contains carbon in it. It includes volatile and semi-volatile organic compounds like petroleum derivatives. Okay, so these are the main contaminants of groundwater. Now, the groundwater contamination may be of natural and artificial means. So, natural contamination of groundwater water occurs by several means. One of them is, I can say as an example, uh, the one is seawater intrusion. Okay, seawater intrusion means the water from the sea got intruded into the land surface wherever there is a um, close proximity with the land. Okay, in that case, the seawater will intrude into the land and it will mix up with the natural pure groundwater. So that will contaminate the water. So that is an example of natural contamination of groundwater. Groundwater gradually has more and more material dissolved within it as it remains in contact with the aquifer. Yes, of course, aquifer is a material just like our soil, so it may contain many contaminants. Maybe it contains some trace elements or some salts which got leached from the surface. So many types of elements it may contain. When the water gets close proximity or in touch with this aquifer, what will happen? All these elements will get mixed with this water, which makes the water contaminated. Okay. In some cases, minerals that could potentially contaminate the water with elements that might make the water less than ideal for human consumption or agricultural use. In all the situation, it may not be harmful. In some situations, what will happen is the elements which are getting mixed with this water makes it not usable for human beings. Okay, in that case, we can say the water as contaminated water. Okay, the example of such metals which makes the water contaminated are copper, arsenic, mercury, fluoride, sodium, and boron, etc. So we have seen the normal example of natural contamination as seawater intrusion. Now we can see a real time example. The vast delta of Ganges and Brahmaputra rivers have enough organic matter in them to use up any oxygen present. So what will happen if more organic matter is present in the water? It will use up all the oxygen in it. So the water will be devoid of oxygen, which leads to some increased uh, which leads to low oxidation potential, and some metals are there which are soluble in water, containing less oxygen. So that kinds of metals will be soluble in water then. Okay, example arsenic will be soluble in water if the oxygen content is less. So arsenic is very much dangerous to human beings. So that is the case. In case of Ganges and Brahmaputra rivers, what will happen is corpses will be corpses will be abandoned in that rivers. Okay, corpses, you all know. Okay, corpses will be abandoned, and as the decay of this corpses, what will happen? The organic matter will get dissolved in this water. Okay, so this organic matter will use up all the oxygen of the water, and at the end, what will happen is the water will become soluble for many metals like arsenic, and uh, finally the water will be contaminated. It cannot be used for any human purposes or domestic purposes or irrigation purposes. The thing is known as arsenic poisoning. Okay, the entire process after the dissolution of arsenic is known as arsenic poisoning, which leads to headaches, diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain, convulsions, etc. Now, other than that of this natural contamination, another reason for contamination of water is anthropogenic contamination. Anthropogenic means anything which is derived from human. Okay, because this contamination is happened due to human activities, so it is known as anthropogenic contamination. So there are different uh, sources of contamination, anthropogenic contamination of groundwater: chemicals and animal waste related to agriculture. Yes, of course, pesticides, fertilizers, and all we are using. And if we are using this higher than an optimum level, what will happen? It will reach the groundwater and it will get contaminated. Landfills, will move on to it. Industrial operations, mines, quarries, and other rock excavations, leaking fuel storage tank, septic systems, runoff from roads, or chemical spills of materials being transported. So these are the various ways by which anthropogenic contamination of water occurs. So we'll see each of them. First one is agriculture. So we all know that we are now moving on to different technologies which will increase the yield of all the crops. Okay, so to meet the population, to meet the what that necessities of the population, so we are moving on to new technologies. The best among the new technologies are that chemical fertilizers and pesticides which are used to increase the yield within a short period of time. Okay, so as we use this chemical and chemical pesticides, what will happen is um, the increase yield will of course increase, but it will have many impacts on human health. Okay, so one of that is water contamination, groundwater contamination. Okay, so this fertilizers we are using, and it will be settled on the surface soils. Now when some rain occurs in the summer and all, what will happen? All the fertilizers or chemicals that we have given to the soil will get dissolved in this water, and it will oozes out through the soil, and it will finally reach the groundwater. Okay, now our pure groundwater will get contaminated with these chemicals. Okay, so then finally what will happen? We will extract the same groundwater from some wells, and we will use it for domestic purposes, and finally it will affect our health. So this is one of the reason, agriculture. And the second one is landfills. You all know what is landfill is, I hope so. Landfills are the structures which are formed to dump waste. Okay, some in some industries, domestic waste, etc. uh, when the amount of these waste are excess, or for example municipal waste. So municipality is collecting waste from all its houses, and it will be collected to a certain point. What will they do is they will dig a very large hole, maybe in a triangular shape or a trapezoidal shape. They will dig the hole and they will dump all the waste inside that hole, and they will close that hole. Okay, so in that case, this is just a method to avoid normal surface pollutions. Okay, but it will have huge impact on the groundwater. So that structures are known as landfills, and what will happen is as time goes on, these things will get decayed. Okay, in that waste, many organic, inorganic, and many chemicals will be there. All that will get mixed with the rainwater or something, some water, and it will reaches the groundwater and causes pollution. But nowadays we have another idea that we have found a solution for this problem, and uh, the modern engineers will construct the landfills in such a way that it has a impermeable layer at the bottom. A plastic liner or a concrete liner will be placed at the bottom in such a way that its leachate will not flow towards the groundwater. Okay, its leachate will be collected in a separate sewer plant, and it will be what it will be tested, and it will be purified and again reused. So these are the things occurring nowadays. We have such a solution for that. Okay. Third one is industrial operations. We all know that there are several industries in our country and in our state also. So all the waste from these industries are being dumped in some water sources or some lands. So even if they are dumped in lands, all the water, rainwater will make them to reach the groundwater. So these are the cases. Now mines, quarries, and rock excavations, so we don't know how they will cause pollution to the groundwater. Now we can see that if in quarries and all, uh, we will first break the rocks, right? So some rocks which are not being exposed to the surface before will get exposed after breaking, right? The rocks which were not being exposed to the surface or air will get exposed after breaking, right? So at that time, what will happen is the newly exposed rock will have the ability to oxidize itself, and it results in the formation of pyrite, ferrous sulfide. Okay, pyrite. So these pyrite will or may reach the groundwater through some rainwater and all. So this is the case occurring in quarries. So the combination of pyrite, water, oxygen, and a special type of bacteria, Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans. The bacteria name is Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans, that thrives in acidic conditions, leads to the generation of acidity, in some cases to pH less than 2. You all know that when the soil or when the water is more acidic, we cannot use it for our daily uses. Okay, so this is the thing happens in quarries and all. The next reason is leaking fuel tanks. Some fuel tanks may get leaked, and it will ultimately reach the groundwater. So this is the case. This may occur mainly in the case of underground storage tanks. Another one is the septic system, the major source of organic waste from the surface to the groundwater is this septic systems. It have many type of pathogenic bacteria in it, and it will thrive up to the groundwater, and it will reach the groundwater, and it may cause human health issues afterwards. Now, how can you prevent or mitigate this groundwater contamination? We have several ways that you can think about it. One of the ways is the proper construction of landfills. We have seen that we can give a lining at the bottom, and we can even close the top surface in such a way that the waste or the leachate from the ground, I mean landfills, will not reach the groundwater. One of the ways is that there are several other methods to prevent and mitigate this groundwater contamination. In case of septic tanks, we can have a great or very scientifically constructed sock pit in such a way that it will not ooze out into the groundwater. Its particulate or pathogenic bacteria will not get ooze out in that manner, or we can treat the water. So like that, many methods are there that you can think about it and write. Once contaminations are in the groundwater, the main form of remediation is to pump out the contaminated water and treat it at the surface. So this is the main remediation that we can do once the water is contaminated. Thank you.